This is day 1 of training to become a professional archer. Here I am eating fistfuls of dry papaya because I forgot to eat dinner. Also, this is not the best way to transport a bunch of really expensive gear in your truck. League night at Double G Archery has become a weekly linchpin for me because it allows me to get 12 ends or rounds of 5 arrows for a total of 60 shots in a relaxed but competitive atmosphere. First practice round was pretty bad, but I started feeling much better after warming up. After that, I was hitting 5s and X's all night and felt like I was getting better the more I shot. And yes, I shot barefoot. See? That's a little bit more like it. Now this is the face you make after pulling a 70-pound bow like a million times, and right here is as close as it gets, but all the arrow has to do is touch the line to be in the higher scoring area, so booyah. All tallied up, and I shot 292 out of a possible 300. Day 2 of training to be a professional archer. Started off by feeding Florence the bunny and Tilly the GSP. You're supposed to eat the food, Tilly. Packed the kids in the car and headed out to Lake Georgetown. It's a great U.S. Army Corps of Engineers reservoir lake that's only about 20 minutes from the house. Our mission out there was heading to the main office so the boy and I could get our small game hunting permits squared away for the fall. After that, we headed to Academy to grab some back-to-school clothes and a new dip net, since the girls absolutely love catching minnows. And older brothers. Archery league last night left my shoulders feeling grumpy, so I started my workout with some band work. After that, I rode 750 meters. On to hang power cleans. Now, moving weight quickly and being explosive isn't crucial to being an archer per se, but there are a lot of good reasons to be athletic and strong in this life. I did lots of doubles up until I felt the bar start to appreciably slow down, and then I hammered on that weight for a few sets. I also wanted to try this weird barbell pickup challenge I'm seeing on social media. Honestly, it seems pretty easy from either side, and I was surprised. I'm not the strongest guy. I didn't pick it all the way up because I didn't want to destroy my ceiling, but it was a fun test of trunk stability, I guess. I love these med ball push-ups even though they look silly, and these scoop tosses give a lot of bang for the buck for rotational training. I have a 3D shoot coming up next weekend, so I had a couple things to do. I had to burn down a wild piece of serving around my peep sight. You can see I just get the flame next to that thread, melt it, and then tamp it down. And I also had to get my bow back up to its maximum poundage, so I cranked my limbs all the way down to get that done. Day 3 of training to be a professional archer started off by brushing hair and watching little girl dance parties, and that's pretty standard. Hey, by the way, I don't drink during the week, but I do get after it on the weekends, so you guys are just going to have to get used to that style of narration when it comes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We filled up the fish tank today because we want to make a native species fish tank. I also watched the new Meat Eater series with Chef Kevin Gillespie, Danielle Pruitt, and my buddy Chef Jesse Griffiths. It inspired me to get my venison sliders out of the fridge for lunch, throw some fridge pickles on them, and go to town. Nice. Worked with my release trainer a little bit, made this out of a PVC pipe and some old bowstring, and works great. A little extra, a little dramatic on the release, but it got the work done. Also, all of this got me thinking about how extremely human it is that we've added so much technology, so much complexity to something as basic and as primal as shooting an arrow at an animal. Doesn't get more human than just creating stuff to buy and make. Now, if you're going to have a native fish tank, you got to go catch the actual native fish. So I grabbed the fly rod and a little bitty dry fly and decided to try to catch myself a sunfish, and I did. Look at this cute little lady. Green sunfish. Made sure she got back home very safely. Should have buckled the seatbelt. Didn't do it though. Acclimated her to the water. She seemed to take to it well, hid under the filter, and then the kids named her Blueberry. She's cute. Day 4 of training to be a professional archer. Little Leah wanted to change out the switch plates in her room for some hydro-dipped switch plates we had made, and when it comes to tools, she is happy to do it all herself, and I'm more than happy to watch. She did an awesome job. So on to feeding Blueberry the sunfish. We had to go back to her home pond and get some minnows and some nymphs that we pulled up with a dip net, and she's ravenous. She ate them all. They're all dead. I tweaked the bow a little bit. I had to change my weight distribution. I put 10 ounces on the back and only 2.5 on the front, and it handles like a dream now. So I went out and shot a couple of ends. It was hitting just where I wanted at 20, even with the additional poundage. I knew as soon as I went back, I was probably going to be hitting a little bit high. So I just walked it all the way back to 60, which is basically in another county from what it looks like here. So as expected, the final one that I shot in the middle was a little bit high. So that's going to take some tweaking on the sight tape. Day 5 of training to be a professional archer. Pretty easy day, little pool party over at my friend Luke's house. He made a lovely charcuterie board, a smoked fish dip, which was ridiculously good, and cooked a bunch of wild game to empty out his fridge. Had a little sparkling water because we still had more to do. Had to get more minnows to put in the tank with Blueberry, the Sunfish, because as I mentioned, she is ravenous, so we're just going full-on buffet style. We're going to put an army of minnows in there, just see how she does. So far, she has been cleaning up. Took a few more shots out at 60 yards to get things dialed in on the sight tape. Really liking how everything is hitting right now. Should be good to shoot 3D next week. I figured I'd also take some time to watch the best in the world do it on YouTube, but other than that, pretty easy day. Day 6 of training to be a professional archer. I like to do any technical sport-specific work before strength and conditioning if I'm doing them on the same day. I really like the way my shot is feeling right now. The new weight distribution on the bow is great, and I feel more in control of the pin than ever. I'm realizing that archery is going to be pretty demanding on my shoulders, so I'm spending a lot of time on the J-bands. Here I'm doing front raises with my hands in 3 different positions: palms down, thumbs up, and pinkies up. Now, it's Monday, and therefore International Bench Day, so I started at 135 and progressively worked my way up until I felt like I got a good working weight moving. I've been lifting long enough to where I can go in without a specific scheme of sets and reps, and instead just feel when my effort is matching the intensity I'm looking for. Some of you nerds might call this RPE. Got up to some triples at 205 and hit some pull-ups between each set. I hit a couple of kind of grindy singles at 225, but you have to bench 2 plates in a workout or it doesn't count. Just kidding. Lift whatever you can, however often you can. That's literally all I'm doing. After that, I went back to 185 for a bunch of sets of 5 to get some quality volume. Barbell rows with a squeeze at the top. Pretty obvious utility for my chosen sport here. Now, I love unilateral work for the upper body, but these single arm incline presses were a little too unstable, a little too spicy after a couple of sets with the 55-pound kettlebell, so I dropped all the way down to the 25-pound to focus on quality of movement and really getting what I needed out of it. Then I finished up with one of my favorite ab movements, weighted cable crunches. Day 7 of training to be a professional archer. For some reason, the kids were motivated to clean in order to earn stuff today, so who was I to stop them? This inspired me to make an actual chore list for us, since we are forever locked in a mortal struggle against the forces of chaos, plus color coding. Blueberry is living the dream, and I actually see her hunting once in a while. Haven't managed to capture any carnage on video just yet. Shout out to my buddy Easton. I was trying to talk myself out of doing any serious training today, but he told me he's been watching these videos and enjoyed them. So that was all the motivation I needed to pick up the bow and get to work. Took a few shots at 40 yards to check the tape, and my elevation seemed okay, but I was a little off. I then took some shots at unknown distance to practice judging, but I was having some trouble keeping the pin steady today. I shot some slow motion video of my arrow flight since I thought I saw some weirdness as I was shooting, but overall it looked pretty good. Just a subpar kind of day.